Hello. So today we are going to be working with these ornaments that I found at Dollarama. So they're fillable and they're in the shape of a light bulb. And I thought, these are new. I don't think they had these last year. Oh, this actually screws on even. Perfect. So I am going to fill these, not fill them, but I'm going to paint them on the insides. And then I wanted to use some transfers on the outside. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take all of these tops off. And then we're going to go ahead and pour some paint on the inside. So because I'm planning on using, there's some super cute tiny transfers in this Holly Glen, really little ones, and I thought they would be really cute on here. So if this works out good, I thought I could always run to Dollarama and grab some more. So I decided to go, I'm going to go with these two colors. I'm going to do two of each. So the colors that I've chosen is, they're both fusion mineral paint, and I'm going with Carriage House and Oakham. And I'm just going to pour, oh, if I can get my lid off, pour some of this in each one. And then I've got my tray handy here. So also from Dollar Tree or Dollarama is a little tin tray. And this is just a piece of cardboard that I've poked some coffee stir sticks, some wooden coffee stir sticks in. You can use anything, straws, whatever you have around. And then I'm just going to place them on there upside down so that they can drip out. So let's give this a go. I have all this idea, and I've never ever done this before. So we'll see how this works. I don't want to waste too much paint, but you have to put enough paint so it actually will coat. The color looks really nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dump straight out of this one into the next one. Any excess. Okay. I think that's going to work pretty good. Okay, I'm just going to set that there for a sec so I can take this off and dump any excess right back in my container here. It'd be better if you had like a styrofoam block or something, I'm thinking, to be able to hold those better. Or I should have had another piece of cardboard on the bottom for more stability. But like I said, I haven't done this before. Okay, so now this is Oakham. I like these little squirt bottles, but these lids are kind of tough sometimes. Running the paint on the inside of an ornament like this makes it a lot easier than trying to paint on the outside. If you've ever painted glass, or these are plastic, but it'd be kind of the same idea. So I'm just going to pour any excess back in. Okay. So now we are going to let these dry. So I'll come back to them. Why is this one being so difficult? I'll come back to them tomorrow. They should be good and dry. Once these have done their dripping, I'm going to change out these sticks, just so that I don't end up with this difficult kind of a clump of paint on the stick and trying to manage that. All right, so I will be back tomorrow with these and we'll put the transfers on. Okay, so the little ornaments are dry and they dried overnight, so all the paint inside is nice and dry, and I'm ready to put transfers on these. But I wanted to get these tops painted first because I don't want them to stay silver. And I'm painting them, I'm turning them gold. We're going to paint them gold. But first I'm going to take, this is like a light browny kind of taupey color, Algonquin by Fusion. And I'm going to paint it on them first as a base. Just because the metallic paints are fairly translucent, so this will help with my coverage. You want to pick a paint color that's kind of similar to use as a base. This is just what's handy, so this is what I'm using. I don't know if it'll be the best one, but it'll work. Okay, so I'm just going to do a quick dry on these so I can get one coat of the gold on there. Because it's probably going to need 2 coats. Okay. Wash the paint out of my brush. And now this is DIY Paint's golden ticket. And now I'm getting way better coverage with that base coat on there. Makes all the difference when you're working with metallics that are usually a little bit more translucent. Okay, now I was going to do just one coat and then go ahead and start with the transfers, but I think I'm going to go ahead and dry these and give that second coat so then they can just sit aside and really dry while I'm working on the ornaments. That first coat seemed to cover really well, but this is just giving it that little bit extra. Oop. Why don't you want to stand? Okay. So now let's clean the top of this off. So hopefully I don't have too much issues getting that off next time. Move those out of the way. Okay. So now I went with these kind of woodsy colors on there. This was Oakham and Carriage House in Fusion because they just go really, really well with this transfer. So I'm going to do probably these three for sure. And maybe the little hedgehog. We'll see. I want to do this little deer first. So I'm really going to cut around the transfer. To hopefully make it easier to apply to this kind of rounded surface. Let's see how this goes. I can't even get this apart. There we go. Okay, so there's no seams on these. Well, there's a little bit of one you can kind of see there. You can barely see them. Keep in mind, these transfers are really going to stick good and well to this plastic when you put it down. So what I'm doing is I am starting in the middle and I am pushing out as I go. Don't expect perfection on applying these transfers to a curved surface. Just try to get the best wrinkle-free image on the important parts. Like I want this little deer's face to be on there, relatively blemish-free. But when it comes to like the leaves and stuff, I'm not super concerned about those because you're not really going to notice anyways if they're... And I'm just using my fingernail to push these on because I can't do the pusher stick and all that stuff and try to hold this on here. It's just not going to work. So always with one thumb kind of holding it stable, I'm just going along with the second thumbnail basically and pushing this down. And then just gently taking this off. There we go. Well, that actually turned out pretty good. So it's more so you can feel the little wrinkles than you can see them. I think that turned out pretty good. It looks pretty cute on there. So I don't know if any of, is this dry? Not quite dry. Let's let those dry a little bit more and put the other transfers on. I have to be patient. Okay, so now let's go with this little bunny. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cutting as much as the excess, the blank space out as I can, because that's just adding area to my two-dimensional transfer that I'm trying to apply to this curved three-dimensional piece. So the less blank space you have, don't cut off his whiskers, the better this is going to go. So I'm just kind of sort of fussy cutting around the edge. Because remember, with the transfers, the white space is nothing. It's just nothing. The transfer itself is the image. So I think my plan for this is I'm going to cut this part off, because then I can always apply that after. So I'm just going to cut this along his little back. And I'll apply that after. So that way I can focus on this. So on this bottom part, it's fairly easy. From the shoulder of the bulb down, it's pretty easy to get this on here. It's coming up over that shoulder that you have to be more careful with, to try to get that to be as smooth as possible. I'm glad I hadn't. I was going to chop off my nails this morning. I'm glad I didn't. I needed them today. Same thing, I'm just being careful lifting this backing paper off to make sure that the transfer is actually adhered to my little bulb. You don't want to just grab it and rip it off like a Band-Aid. That doesn't work on this application. It'll be way more painful than ripping off that Band-Aid. There we go. Okay, and we've got some what looks like little oak leaves or something here. And I'm just going to put it guess it's going right there. Pretty close to where it was originally. I just kind of shifted it a little bit. Burnish that on there. Perfect. These are going to be so cute. Okay, Mr. Little Badger, it's your turn. Again, I don't want to cut his little whiskers off. They're very fine. You can hardly see them in there. This little badger looks so cute and innocent. They're not. They are feisty little creatures. We have them around here. We haven't had any problems with them in the yard. My daughter's livestock guardian dog got totally mauled by a badger. Took a trip to the vet. She's okay, but there was a lot of facial damage to the poor dog. I don't know how the badger fared, but if it even survived the attack, but ooh, that's still wet in there. well. Kind of sticky wet. Glad I touched that under the transfer. Okay, one more. Which one are we going to do? I think I'm going to do this little hedgehog, just because. And I'm going to cut him kind of right out here. So these are still wet, like really inside, which is, I guess, not a lot of airflow in there. So even though it's been 24 hours, they're still kind of wet in there. Okay. So now we have 4 super cute little light bulb ornaments. And I think these will be dry now. So cute. This was the reasoning for wanting to chop my nails off this morning, because I cannot function once they get to a certain point. All right, so there's the 4 of them. I know they're hard to see because they roll around, but we've got the little badger, the little bunny, the little fawn, and this cute little hedgehog. So 4 super cute little ornaments. You can seal the outside of these if you want to, but what that's going to do is it's going to affect the finish, this nice shiny finish on here. So I'm not going to seal them. These aren't, it's not furniture, so I'm not worried about the transfer. They're just little decorations, so they're going to be fine. So there we go. Quick, easy project. Took 4 of the tiny little transfers and 4 ornaments. These were from Dollarama. So if I remember correctly, they were $1.50 for 2. And some paint. Quick little ornaments. These would be cute on like gift tags as well, like little gift ornaments, that little extra something something. Well, thanks so much for watching, and I hope this inspired you to create your own little dollar store ornaments. These turned out super cute. Thank you.